Now see, what is spirituality and at what level does the experience arise? This is a beautiful question to explore. Let's analyze. First of all, we see the world, the physical world around us. We are very sure of it. In fact, we've been weaned on this very physical nature of this reality, and we love physical science and physical world. And the reason why physical sciences are given AAA kind of marking by the science lobby is because they say this is empirical evidence. The world is an empirical phenomena. So what do you mean by empirical? It simply means I will only validate those things which I can, in a way, affirm using my senses, 5 senses. So I got my senses, I can see, I can hear, etc. And unless the world that you're talking about is able to relate to my 5 senses, I will reject it. So if you say, oh, poetry, the science lobby say, leave us out. This is, airy-fairy stuff. We rather not deal with it. We're talking about empirical world, which means something that can be verified by sense data. So poetry, the fact that you sound musical notes is not enough for them. So this kind of high-flying ideas of spirituality, this is not empirical. So this is where the science lobby will immediately chop out the idea of spiritual, because they don't like things which are not something that you can grab with your 5 senses. So what happens when you have a spiritual experience? This is a marvelous thing to explore. When a spiritual experience arises in us, what happens that the world that we are so sure about, the world in front of our eyes, which is verified by our senses, that intensity with which we are experiencing the world somehow appears fickle, appears like illusory, or if you like a dream world. You see, Mr. Lakhani, this is not dream world, this is real. What are you talking about? I'm saying when you have a spiritual experience, you will suddenly discover that the world you are so sure about is no longer that certain, and in a sense appears very weak. The intensity of your experience of the worldly affairs appears so weak, and the intensity with which you experience the spirit is so severe, so strong, that it's overwhelming. So you don't need proof. Suppose, I'll give you an example. Suppose you are in a dream, and you see the kind of a universe of your own, and when you wake up and people say, how do you compare your dream world with your wakeful state, the world that you see now? You say, dream world at the time appeared so important, and I was caught up in it. But when I wake up from the dream, I know there's a fickle thing. This is what happens when you have a spiritual experience. What appears to hold your attention, hold of your mind, this empirical world, has lost its grip. It no longer appears that attractive, because you've now seen a deeper level of reality, which is far more intense than you can ever imagine. Look, I'm telling you bluntly, there is no way I can use any language or any words to tell you or transmit to you the idea of what a spiritual experience is like, why it is so, except to use the word, it's more intense than you can ever imagine. Your imagination, your mental faculties will fail even. It is far superior. So you transcend this physical experience. The reason why it is such an intense experience is this, let me tell you why. This is the world we see. Don't you see what we have done? We've already divided this creation, this reality, into a subjective and objective reality. The moment I observe, what am I doing? Here I am, from behind these eyes, saying I'm the observer, I'm looking on, and here is the world that I observe. So I already got a subject-object divide, already put into place. The moment I have a spiritual experience, something dramatic happens. That subject-object divide is demolished. The demarcation is removed. So the intensity, look, when I see you, there is, kind of limitation. Depending on how much sensations I get from you, that much experience I can have of you. So it depends. Suppose the light is low, my experience will be limited. So it's very secondary experience, subject-object. When I have a spiritual experience, the subject-object divide has been demolished, demarcation is removed. So there is no intermediary, there is no agency that is transmitting subject-object information. It is so first-hand and so intense that it in a way defies any kind of simplistic explanation or saying what is it. It is if I can use the word, it's a eureka moment. It's a wow moment, real wow. In fact, I think Steve Jobs, when he passed away, kept repeating, wow, I think he was getting the experience. He deserved it in a way. The way he lived his life, I think he deserved spiritual experience at the time of his parting. And perhaps he did that. I'm just speculating. But this wow that I'm talking about is something that you can only appreciate if you have it. Otherwise, you just wave your arms about and say, please, believe me, I tell you it's really good, it's really wow, but I can't give you any more. I can't transmit that experience. There are people who can. But this is the marvelous idea of a spiritual experience. It transcends your sense world, it transcends your mental world, it transcends your rational world as well. Because it's not saying it's anti-rational, it's saying it transcends rationality. We say, oh yeah, it's a nice little instrument we had when you are operating in this material world. And you transcended that. And this is something that, unless you have it first time, there's no way you can appreciate it. There's no way, you should not appreciate it, because then you are in trouble. You say, until I get it, I don't know what you're on about. And that's your attitude. You must maintain that, because that will prod you to search for it yourself.
Free e-learning course in Hinduism. To register, please visit www.hindu-academy.com.
Talks on Hinduism, sponsored by People Care, encouraging caring for the elderly in their own homes. For more information, please visit peoplecare.com.